Hello, it's Mark Serwotka, the General Secretary of PCS, and this is a message to all PCS reps to give you an update on decisions taken by yesterday's National Executive Committee in relation to our national public sector campaign to defend people's living standards and to get our overpaid pensions money back. First of all, let me tell you what we decided yesterday. Following a large engagement with members where thousands and thousands have gone on the website and used our pensions robbery calculator and then emailed their MP, many of those members contacted us to say they wanted the union to do more in order to be successful in our campaign. So conscious of that, yesterday we took some key decisions. The main one I want to share with you today is that the NEC has decided that early in 2022, we will be holding a national consultative ballot of all PCS members in the public sector, asking them whether they are prepared to take strike action in order to ensure we get a significant pay rise. And yesterday the NEC agreed a claim of 10% for all members with a minimum wage of £15 an hour. That ballot will also be about the pensions robbery, trying to get members the overpaid pensions contributions back and ensuring that we have decent pensions into the future. Now, this ballot will not be a statutory ballot, but it will be a very important gauge of membership feeling. And that is why the NEC agreed that when we do the ballot, we will get a branch breakdown of the results and a result by every group in the union. And our aim must be to get over 50% turnouts in all parts of the union in this consultative ballot. And if we do that, it will send the strongest possible message to the government to do the right thing and give our members a decent pay rise and their pensions money back. If they still refuse to listen, it will put us in a position where we can confidently move to a statutory strike ballot in the knowledge that we can beat the 50% threshold. So now what we need to do is assess the situation and set out some key things that we're asking all of you as reps to do and plan for now. This cannot wait till after Christmas. It's something that we need to start preparing for now. Because whilst we haven't yet set the dates for the consultative ballot, it is probably going to be around February next year. So our planning must start with urgency as soon as possible. Now, first of all, let me just share with you what has happened since we've asked members to go on our website. Tens of thousands have used the calculator and many of them have emailed their MP. So far, 70% of all MPs in the Westminster Parliament have been contacted by our members. In addition to that, Chris Stevens, the chair of our parliamentary group, has had an adjournment debate in Parliament about pay and the cost of living crisis. We've also met Cabinet Office officials in order to demand a series of negotiations to not just get decent pay rises and our pensions money back, but to also move to a national pay coherence system that means equal pay for everyone wherever they work. But so far, despite all of those things, the government and the Cabinet Office are just not listening. So that is now, we now need to up the ante. So these are the things that we're asking you to do in your workplace and your branch as soon as possible, and certainly to start the planning now for them to happen as early as possible in the new year. Firstly, we want every branch to meet, every branch committee to have its own branch campaign plan that is about engaging members, asking non-members to join the union and getting more people active. It will include getting people's personal details up to date, everything we need to ensure that when we have the ballot, we get the biggest possible turnout. We're asking you also to plan members' meetings. The sooner we start having meetings with members, virtually if people are not at work, in order to be COVID safe, particularly given recent developments, but we need to get members collectively discussing what we're going to do at local level and as part of this national campaign. We're also asking you to urge those members in your branch or workplace who haven't yet done it to go on the pensions robbery calculator and to email their MP. We're also asking you all to register now for the first national PCS National Activist Forum, which is going to take place on the last weekend in January. We're calling that to make sure that we can talk to you, get you engaged, listen to your views as we launch the consultative ballot next year. And finally, I'd like to report to you that whilst all of this is about PCS ensuring that we can show that our members and activists are not going to put up with what the government is planning for us, we've also been talking to other unions. Next week, there's a meeting at the TUC of all public sector unions, and we've also been talking to our colleagues in key public sector unions. And I can tell you that many of them, like us, whether they're representing nurses, education workers, local authority workers, also feel that this is unacceptable. Some of them, like our colleagues in the UCU, have already started taking strike action. Others are either holding ballots or considering holding ballots. So we're going to do everything we can to have a united public sector campaign. But whether that happens or not, what is crucial is that we as PCS must show the government that we can deliver our members. And here's the thing for us all to think about as we go into Christmas and the new year looms. Next year, if we can't force the government to do the right thing, your members, our members in PCS, will face the single biggest decrease in their cost of living that any of us can remember. That is because a combination of inflation running at 5%, a 2% overpayment of people's pensions, a national insurance rise, and a decade of pay restraint and pay cuts, now followed by a government that's not even prepared to tell us we will get an above inflation funded pay rise, combined means that this attack on our cost of living will be enormous. To combat that, we are submitting a national pay claim for 10% for a minimum wage that is £15 an hour and demanding pensions justice. But so far they've not listened, so now we need to make them listen. So please get active, get your branch up and running to get a campaign plan together and a members meeting. Make sure you attend the National Activist Forum at the end of January, but most importantly, let's ensure that when the ballot happens next year, we can deliver a massive turnout that will force the government to think again. Thanks very much, and thanks for all you're doing on behalf of PCS and PCS members.